Hey everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house, yeah boy. Hopefully, let me know if all audio and everything's up and running okay, and we'll get moving on. So, a big shout out to everybody. Let's get things running. And of course, we had a second day of big updates from Richard Hart. So fantastic. I think we've got a pretty good show lined up today. I think you guys are going to like it. We've got obviously going through Richard Hart's updates. We've got all the latest things on GitLab from Pulsechain. We've got some Pulsechain updates outside of that. We've got big influencers talking about Hex and Pulsechain. We're going to get into all of that. Then we're going to jump into the stock market, the Federal Reserve, Chairman Powell. We're going to talk about all like that. We're going to look at the economic calendar, the inflation rate, where interest rates might go. We're going to get into that. Then we're going to jump into the crypto and talk about all the crypto prices, rankings, and BTC. Then we're going to jump into, of course, our favorite Hex.com. Going to get into Hex. And then we're going to get into ICOSA and Hedron. We're going to get into that. And then, of course, we're going to jump after that. If you think that's not enough, we're going to get into Pulsechain project updates after that. Yes, boy. And then, of course, we're going to wrap up and get paid at the end of the live stream. If you're staking T-shares, or if you've got mining T-shares, I should say, you're going to get paid some Hex per T-share. You always get paid on this live stream. And we'll be covering the Hex daily stats. That's how we wrap up the day to get paid. Get in the chat there if you like get paid in the chat there. That's going to be cool. Let's get in and see who is in the house there. I've got, just let me mute my own setup here. Go to live chat and get into some of these comments. I will leave a timestamp as I have been generally doing. I think I'm up at about 90% the content timestamps after the videos. I think I only missed out one actually in the last 10. Let's jump over to Wookie. Wookie says has his rubber ducky and soaking in the bath, practicing waiting for the Hex token. Wookie, there's so many things there. Wookie's an in-house comedian. Nice to see you, Wookie, and also moderator as well. Lies beneath in the house there. Hello, how are you today? Very, very good. And I'm just looking at some of the comments to make sure I'm okay here. Lies beneath says hello, Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLX for the 100%. It's going to be pretty epic. What else we got there? JB, hit the likes and share. Definitely smash the likes and share. And what, Sandy Beach has jumped in there too. Great to see Sandy Beach. Influencer, moderator, and all-round awesome person. Great to see Sandy. Wow, a lot of PLS updates today. I know it's been crazy, and yesterday too. Yesterday it felt like I was reading out updates for about half an hour on this channel, wasn't it? It was pretty long. We had explanations as well. If you want to go back on yesterday's video, have a look at all those updates. I went through the explanations as much as I could, doing a layperson's view of those updates. And of course, we went through the Aragon stages 1 to 15. So there's definitions in there as well. We went through lots of definitions. So from official libraries here from Aragon. So well worth going through yesterday's video as well if you missed those updates. Simple Believer says, hold on to your coins. It's going to be a long ride in the bear market. Yes, the bear market's going to be tougher. Now, if you guys recall, I have been calling the seasons pretty well. And I did say that March through to June is going to be a rough ride. It's going to be volatile. So that is heightened now. So it's even more so now. We're going to go through that when we get up to the stock market and Federal Reserve updates. So stay tuned for that. It's just the way it is. Nothing much we can do about that. Uncle Will says, hey y'all, what a fine day in Hexco. Certainly is, Uncle Will. Well, there is a little bit we can do about it. We've got Pulsechain coming, so that's kind of exciting. But mainnet, I think it's probably going to be time towards the back end of that phase. We'll see what Richard decides. Ted Nelson as well, morning Hex Token. Hey everybody, good to see you, Ted. We've got Brian as well, one of our 2 community leads. Good to see you up, Brian. We've got Dav Down Under as well. Hey Superman, please explain updates for the uneducated. I'm going to do a layperson's view. And of course, big welcome from me on this channel. We've got Pudding a Guru in the house there. G'day from Noosa. Noosa. That's the big beach. The big beach. Is that the biggest left-hand break in the world? Is that Noosa? You can confirm it in your Pudding Guru. I think that might be the case. Is that where, was it Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze did the old surf thing there? Patrick Swayze ended up into the sunset there. Hello, I think that's right. Hello, Hex Token and everybody, Sandy Beach says. And we've got Moon Signal as well. Yes, alarm live. Nice Moon Signal. Good to see you in the house. Archipelago as well. Hi all, good to see Archipelago. Big welcome to everybody. Of course, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Share the channel around, really does help. Acapella guest says hi all, and we've got Katie as well. Hey all, good to see you, Superman. Katie, one of our moderators. Great to see you, Katie. Andrew Reynolds in the house as well. Yay, made the start of the show. Hi, Hex Token, a big what's up to everyone. What's up to everyone? One day closer to V3. Happy hump day. Indeed, indeed, indeed. I think that deserves a magic twinkle there, Andrew. That deserves. Mikey's in the house as well. Hello all. What's up, Superman? Good to see you, Mikey. We're going to get into it all. Quite a few names in the chat today. Humberto Gonzalez, cheers everybody from sunny Miami, capital of crypto capital of the world, 100%. Check my pulse in the house as well. Good evening, Hexkins 2023, the year of Pulsechain. So we are so close. We are indeed very close. We've got a moon signal. Says let's go, 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 go. Hex PLSX, PLS for the launch for the soon. So true. Man, that's that almost deserves a magic twinkle as well. So that's the way it goes. Walter is in the house there. Let's go Pulsechain, 100%. We got great. This is going to be a great show today. Honestly, we've got such a great amount of updates. It really is awesome. Rango's in the house there. Morning all. Rango says, good to see Rango. Who else jumped in here? Michael R. Woohoo! I'm in 3 minutes behind in the comments now, so I've really caught up here. Brendan as well. Morning, Superman and family. Good to see Brendan. Humberto says, has anybody noticed that RH did not mention V3 at all in today's updates? Sounded more like a mainnet launch. The thought has never crossed my mind. Wouldn't be the first time Richard surprised us. Yeah, I'm not expecting any mainnet launch there, Humberto. I'd be normally software teams do a proper testing first proof of stake V1 fork, so I'm not expecting anything like that. That's just generally not prudent activity there. Sorry, bro, golfer, not super. Says Putin. Oh, that's all good. That's all good. Good speeches though, says Putin Guru. Nice. Bob Well says hello there, peeps. Good to see Bob as always. We've got Hexicus Staturnicus in the house there. That's a beautiful there. Is that a Greek name or something like that? Greetings from the center of Hexacana. Hexacana there. That's a pretty creative name there for sure. All right, so let's get into it, folks. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 3. We're going to get the Richard Hart updates. Bam, bam, bam. The crowd goes wild. All right, so Richard just put this update out. It's only been out for a little while here. How was that many hours? Just around about 3 hours ago. This got updated. When I saw it, of course, it was only just out about 20 minutes or so, but it's been out for about 3 hours. Pulsechain update. Aragon released a bug fix. So that's the actual Aragon team. Remember, I said in past updates that even we've got 4 soft clients that we're taking out of Ethereum. Ethereum's got more, but we've got 2. We've got the GoGet and the Aragon. Those are execution clients. There's 2 of those, and then we've got 2 consensus clients, which are used for validating and things like that. We've got 2 of those. We've got the Prism, and we've got Lighthouse. So we've got 4 clients altogether. The other 3 are working, are already working. With they always have some probably minor issues, but that's pretty much it. We've got Aragon though is the one that we're trying to finish the sync, and we'll also get the widely used Explorer as well that Ethereum's got. So that's one of the outputs that we were after with the Aragon. The other thing, of course, having 4 clients gives you that diversity, that diversification in software clients, and of course all of those can be updated by the actual founding teams of those softwares as well. Remember, Aragon is also a fork of the GoGet there, the original one, and really it requires far less data, like 25%, something like that. And it also is done so rather than trying to do a lot of steps at once, it does it just systematically after one after another there in a series. So it's a lot quicker to update, generally speaking, although the team's having a few issues just getting that up and running. Obviously, they've made code changes to fit Pulsechain with the different scaling of numbers. With trillions, we've got trillions of Pulse, for example, and metadata changes as well, basically title changes. Obviously, we've got Pulse, not ETH, and things like that. So, and some fee differences there also. So that's pretty cool. So we've got Aragon released a bug fix. Yay. Pulse Aragon, so that looks like the team came there. They have had dialogue with the team, so no surprise there. Pulse Aragon is still syncing using the latest version with the fix. So obviously from yesterday, so it won't run into that bug. So that's kind of cool. Execution stage is now on 18th December 18. Remember yesterday we were at October, so now we've got December here. So only 79 days, 17 hours of blocks to execute before stage 8. So it's not going to take 79 days. Obviously, it's just going to sync much faster than that. So we're looking at hours, and so it's probably may even be close to done, if not done already, of blocks to execute before stage 8. So this is stage 7. They're wrapping up here before stage 8. Then we've got stage 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Go through those. They're generally quite fast, and we'll go through those. Now, if you want to look at a breakdown of those stages from Eragon itself, I did cover that in full yesterday's video, so you can go back and check that. I didn't pull them up today. Probably could have, should have, but just the way it goes. So let's have a quick look at the update there. We've got, this is the breakdown of that picture, and you can see the block height on there at the moment is 15,669,689, and of course it's got to go up towards over 16 million there. So there's still got more days to go with the block times there. You can see it's got good pairs here, so we see some issues about not syncing up the pairs. Looks like they've got good pairs on here as well. What else is interesting here? We've got the dates timestamp of this printout, 7th of March here, 8:35 in the evening. So that's kind of cool. What else we got here? We got the uptime here as well, 3 days running as well. Just have a look through the rest of it. That's pretty much where we're up to on there. So cool. That is the way it's going. So that's the execution of Eragon there. So that's just ticking away. So that was the first update, so it's pretty cool. And we've already got 70,000 plus views on that. Then Richard, let me just zoom in on this because it's a little bit small. Then Richard posted out these other comments after that. Restarting Prism, Lighthouse. So these are the consensus clients. Seems to be hit and miss with regards to peering. They will sometimes start up and quickly appear and sync, but other times they fail to establish connections with peers, failing handshake or get rejected goodbye messages with faults as the reason. So obviously still having a few little issues there peering up with other nodes. There's a chance that upstream fixes might exist for the Prism Lighthouse peering. They're inspecting, so the team's working on that. And you might be wondering, says Richard, how many things get fixed in an open source software release? In this one, a lot got updated. So this is a Ledger Watch one, Eragon. This is an Eragon update, and V24 to V240. And of course, this last major one yesterday has 641 changes in it. So this is just from the Eragon team itself, just one of the clients. Obviously, the one that the team's working to sync up at the moment. This is the fourth leg on the chair, as it were, to get that testnet V3 up and running. Now, pragmatically, Richard says, I think you can have a functioning consensus network even if a small percentage of nodes fail to pair for some reason. So this peering we're talking about here with other nodes, basically other computers out there. You could just address that later, that part later. Free time to work while you're waiting for syncing anyway. It's better to have all pairing working well though, as if you're a validator doing consensus work. Remember, in Pulsechain you're going to need 32 million Pulse to be a solo validator. Obviously there'll be other alternatives like pooled staking, staking as a service, and centralized exchanges will have offers as well. So there's going to be other alternatives to solo staking. If you don't have 32 million, there'll be some sort of pooled type of things out there as well. A lot of innovation in that space will no doubt come to Pulsechain. As you are validated doing consensus work and you don't pair up at boot, you could be /, penalized, and of course you don't want to get that. You get penalized fees and your earnings in terms of Pulse on that, so you don't want that. And you would slow the network down a bit too by not being available when you're supposed to be. Better to fix it if possible. So those were the updates there. So people were pretty happy with all that, with those key updates. So I think that was the highlight there. Yep. And we're going to jump through some of this. Then we got another update 2 hours ago. So we got insane amount of work. Pulsechain, PulseX, Bridge, Eragon, Geth, Lighthouse. So this is really cool, giving a list of all the things. Pulsechain, PulseX, the official Bridge, of course. Eragon, Geth, Lighthouse, Prism, Block Scout, Terraform, Beacon Explorer, And this Beacon Explorer is really what they're wanting to get for that. The Beacon Explorer there, so we've got the Block Scout and the Beacon Explorer in terms of exploring the chain. PulseX and Pulsechain stats reporting sites, so that's kind of cool. We hadn't seen a lot of this stuff before, so that there looks relatively new from that point of view, depending on what he's inferring here. So PulseX and Pulsechain stats reporting sites looks like a new thing there. Jump up there. SAC balance checker as well. So obviously that we've had the final update, so hopefully I'm not sure if there's going to be any more, but we definitely had our last one, was it December, I think, something like that. Creating a full functioning ecosystem is mind-blowing and grateful to open source. So that's a really cool update. So but it also shows you the amount of work they've been doing, and it's in a pretty fast period of time too. Remember that the Ethereum blockchain only went to proof of stake on the 15th September last year, so that's like 6 months. So pretty impressive if you think about it from that point of view. So cool, that was a cool update, very cool update indeed. So we're going to retweet that one. What else we got going here on the updates? Let me just jump through this. We've got a couple other updates from Richard, but they're more around generic Hex stuff and that like that. So that's kind of cool. So big updates from Richard. Moving on from that though, we've also got the team working hard as well. We've got on the Pulsechain group in the GitLab. We've seen that Brett Paulson, Brett there's logged in for work again on the 7th there. They've been obviously most days to log in. Gamma's in there as well. Gamma DevOps has been added, and direct member by Richard Hart as well. So Gamma's also put out a thing on Twitter about Pulsechain devs and projects coming. So that's a really cool window of growth on Pulsechain through the Gamma DevOps. I don't think I pulled that up, but there's a tweet out there on Gamma. You can definitely find that as well. So that's March the 7th. We've also got, obviously, Richard Hart logging in again. March the 7th there, so what's that, day 5? There's been logging in. The last time was, of course, 20. I think it's done 26th, 27th, I think, of February, and then he's done the last 4 days at least logging in here on Pulsechain early March. What else there? So, and then we've got SJB logging in Pulsechain as well, March the 7th. So they're working pretty hard, folks, is the old team. Now let's jump to the PulseX group on GitLab. We can see that obviously Agris is in there. He's logged in the 7th of March. We've got Brett obviously in there as well, March the 7th. We've got Lucas Carlson, so another dev there too, March the 7th. Richard Hart logging in as well, March the 7th. So that's pretty cool on those ones. And of course, some of them, like Kyle, they're logged in yesterday, March the 6th, as well as 3 Commerce Capital, March the 6th as well. So, yeah, pretty good turnover on the old GitLab, day after day after day, and particularly with Richard Hart in there, at least the last 4 days. It's been pretty exciting. So we'll keep a tune on that. Logging in for work is kind of cool. They may just be opening up a tab or something, looking at a read text file or something, who knows. But they're definitely working pretty hard. So pretty nice on that one. Right. The other thing, of course, we had Pulsechain update on the website. Pulsechain testnet is live. This has changed from yesterday. Read the docs, claim free. So it's just the front end from the looks of it that's been changed. There used to be 2 paragraphs here yesterday. Read the docs, claim testnet, free testnet, PLS at the faucet, stake them, try to bridge over assets from the Ethereum Rigby test network. Try trading your PRCs on PulseX. Also, please check your sacrifice balance if correct. So that's pretty cool. And with the sacrifice balance, you can go check that. Yeah, the last update there was December. 1st of December at the moment, 2022 is the last update. So if you haven't checked if you have participated in Pulsechain and PulseX, then you can check it there. All right, so that's kind of cool. All of this is all the testnet v2b. This is the proof of work version. So we're waiting for v3, the first proof of stake, which will technically be a v1 on the proof of stake there. But you can play on the old proof of work one there at the moment. Still seems to have a lot of the old commentation there, 3-second block times. So obviously we're moving to 10-second block times on the old Pulsechain with the proof of stake. So they have a lot of the older stuff there. So, but anyway, the front of it's been changed at the top here, so it's kind of cool. Nice to see little changes there. So that is that. Then we've had some big updates from influencers talking about Pulsechain, which has been pretty cool. And here is Bankless. Obviously, we know all about Bankless. Bankless there, used to really talk down at Richard and Hex and things like that. And of course, here they got we dunk. They've put this comment out. This is 3 p.m. on the 7th of March. We dunk on Hex a lot, but I think we can safely say that it's one of the tokens ever made. So I guess it's best tokens ever made. Anyway, that's pretty funny. There is another tweet out there as well talking about obviously the Pulsechain as well. Haven't pulled that up, but there's another tweet from them around that also. Super brave post. Wish the space had more of this, says OakX Skull. Someone had to say it, says Bankless. And then Hexologist even jumped in. I've seen you. You look like you can barely dunk an Oreo cookie in a glass of milk. So it's pretty funny. I think we had Hot Dog down here as well. Yeah, a lot of influencers getting in there, jumping in the chime. And T-Bird here says, don't worry, we dunk on you as hard, so we can call it even. That's probably true, actually, to be honest. Showing that him breaking down there after Richard Hart put in a little comment saying hello or something like that. I'm here, I think it was. I'm here. It was quite funny. This is after all the centralized finance falling down. I can't remember. I think this is the FTX fallout. I think this is the FTX fallout. So yeah, pretty hilarious there. You don't dunk on Hex, you dunk on your followers when you send them to exchanges and get scammed. That's pretty much the tune of the play there. Richard saved thousands from grifters like you, and just the way it goes. You've got to remember these guys get paid big fees for promotion. They often also make money on the referrals as well. So they live in CeFi land a lot and centralized exchanges, which is the opposite of where we live. We like to live in DeFi. You own your keys to your coins and all that good stuff. So that's pretty fun. We've even got rags to riches in there. You can't dunk something that towers over you. And then rag to riches in there as well. So some pretty cool stuff there. Influencers are talking about us though. It's breaking down. You can see it's getting bigger and bigger. They are big influencers. So it's very important. We've also got another one here. Let me just get on here. We've got not just Bankless, but Ivan on Tech also talking about it. So let me play this up. Let me set this up here. All right. Let me post that. Bam. All right. So this is Ivan on Tech. He was talking about Pulsechain and Hex, and of course he is sacrificed for Pulsechain. So there's a pretty big deal coming from him. He's got over 500,000, or around about 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. One of the top 20, top 30 crypto influencers in the world. And of course, sacrifice for Pulsechain. So, and he's also, obviously, we've covered a few other snippets he's been doing, increasingly so, talking about Pulsechain. So you can see how it's going to come, folks. It's going to we're going to expand pretty quickly there.
We do have news from Pulsechain, which is getting closer and closer to launch. This is going to be important. Why? Number one, I have sacrificed. So that's why, to me, this is a personal news update that I'm keeping an eye on. Let me know if you've sacrificed for Pulsechain. But number two, like the community is crazy. The reason why I am updating on Pulsechain, and why personally I'm excited, is not necessarily because of the tech, because tech-wise, it's gonna be like fast ETH, which we have many of. Like we have Arbitrum, we have Optimism, we have this and that. Like it's a million of them. But the community is on the other level, guys. Like I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy. It's crazy. So when you look at the different blockchains, whether it's Ethereum, Optimism, Binance Chain, what is the difference? There's no difference. It's EVM, smart contracts. It's exactly like everything else. The only thing that is different is the community. That's where you actually can have an advantage. And whenever you look at a blockchain like Polygon, let's say, people are not really loyal to Polygon. Like no one really cares about Polygon in the same way that people on Pulse care about Pulse. And what I mean by that is that, let's say you're an application on Polygon. I mean, you could move to Arbitrum. It's a few lines of code, redeploy all contracts, bridge the assets. It's very easy to do, actually. So in the space of EVMs, where everything is so easy, everyone can just switch. There's no loyalty because, I mean, why would you have loyalty? It's the same tech. Everything is the same. You need to have something like a community where you only get the crazy community on Pulse. You only get the crazy Hex holders on Pulse. That's something that is unique from a fundamental perspective, not even tech perspective. From a fundamental perspective, that's very unique. So we're gonna see how it will play out, but that's why I personally am very excited. But basically, the good thing that Richard is doing now is that he's updating on what's happening. And he's really sharing all the struggles, all the problems. And right now they're syncing the node, which is very difficult, by the way. I know it firsthand because we do it at Moralis all the time, like syncing nodes, keeping them in sync. Man, it's insane. It's insane. And the worst thing is that you cannot make it go faster in many cases, because the way nodes are made is that it needs to go it's very sequential, because the blockchain is sequential. So for you to validate everything, you need to go step by step by step by step by step. So it doesn't matter if you can have like 5 billion machines doing it. You can only do it one step at a time. So that is really not great when you need to sync without a milestone. So milestone is when you don't have to sync, you just download a state of the blockchain and you just continue from that block. But if you have to sync from scratch and validate everything, then there is no way to speed it up. That's horrible, and that's especially with Geth. Aragon, I'm not sure. Maybe Aragon is a bit faster. Maybe they've made it a bit smarter. I don't have experience as much with Aragon, but with Geth, for example, it's crazy. But it's coming to an end. It seems that they're just waiting for the sync, and the code is ready. And it's going to be very interesting to see how how this ecosystem will evolve, because I want to also see how Richard will treat the projects on Pulsechain, because he wants Hex to pump, and the people will be launching all kinds of coins on Pulse. I can tell you that it's going to be a lot of projects, and it's going to take buy pressure from Hex. So the question is, will it be cannibalizing Hex? But what is the point of making a programmable blockchain if you don't want people to launch projects and to launch coins? So that's my biggest question. Let's see how it evolves. I will be updating you, and yeah, I hope my Pulse bag, which I sacrificed, will do well in the coming bull market. At least with the current state of the community. I mean, the big thing I still don't understand is how will the price of Pulse be in comparison to the sacrifice price, because I have no clue about that. We will see when the thing launches, if we're gonna launch above it or below it. I guess that's a big question, because a lot of people sacrifice, so I guess that it inflates the supply of Hex or of Pulse. So a lot of sacrifices is actually not good, I guess, if you have sacrifice, because it's being shared. But anyway, we'll see it.
All right, so that was Ivan on Tech, one of the biggest influencers in crypto globally, and yeah, one of my favorite actually, because he's very balanced in his commentary, and pretty awesome questions he's asking. All questions we cover on this channel and other influencers in our space cover, but a really big deal. Now, if you add up all the 120, 150 influencers in the Hex Pulsechain, PulseX space, they are very generally very engaged. We have a highly engaged audience, so that relatively speaking, from an engagement point of view, it's really high. But if you add up all the subscribers, compare them to even one of the top 30 YouTubers, even with Richard Hart's included, you know, we're still sitting, we're still not as big as one of them. So we'll up. So it just really is a big deal getting these big influencers in the space. More of them, especially after the CeFi and centralized exchanges got wrecked last year. Some of them were shilling those margin trading, had promotion deals where they're getting paid pretty hefty fees. Some of them have moved away. And they see Pulsechain for what it is. Probably one of the probably the biggest thing coming out in the next year or two in crypto in particular. And there'll be a couple other big ones, possibly, you know, maybe Coinbase or something like that, if they do a coin after all, or a token, those sort of things. But largely, PulseX is going to be, you know, dwarf a lot of that stuff. It's going to be a real giant in the space. Not just that, but it's also going to be pushing DeFi, taking more market share with DeFi, and that's a huge, I think, win. Not just for crypto, but I'm sure Richard Hart is well aware of that. Now, he's talking about getting a lot of projects on Pulsechain. Now, obviously, the more projects, the better, right? Because that's what the chain is designed for. The chain is a roadway, highway. You want more and more projects on the side of the highway there. People can drop off into or whatever. And of course, PulseX success depends on thousands of trading pairs. So the more projects, the more trading pairs, the more buy and burn of PulseX. PulseX gets bought and burnt up and really gets increased value. That's also true for Pulsechain. All the transactions on Pulsechain, with a whole ton of dexes operating, whole ton of project teams operating, NFT projects, DeFi, metaverses, GameFi, whatever it's going to be, they're all operating on that. So it's designed to flourish. Now, there'll always be some scam projects, plenty of those, and it's really, I think, that's going to get mitigated by the fact that most of the influencers in the community really care about people and really want people to do well, so those will be generally criticized by a good amount of the audience. But of course, there's plenty of other promoters out there that will promote the pump and dumpers. So it's just the way it's going to be. That's just life. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun though. I thought he asked some pretty good questions. Very bullish for the community to get these big influencers on, and the fact that they've sacrificed as well. They've got a bit of skin in the game, so it's going to be fun to see. So just to wrap up the Pulsechain project updates, Richard Hart's update here. Pulsechain.com update. Aragon released a bug fix. Yay. Pulsechain. Pulse Aragon is still syncing. Remember, this is the last of the 4 clients, and we've got 2 execution clients. It's the second one. Is still syncing using those version with fix, so it won't run into that bug. Execution stage is on December 18th, and I think last time we had October. So only 79 days and 79 hours of blocks to execute before stage 8. So I think it was expected to take a short amount of hours to do that. So that's pretty cool. And then of course we've got after stage, this is before stage 8, so it's on stage 6, 7. And of course, remember stage 1 is doing the headers, and then stage 6, 7, they're blocks. So before stage 8, and I just pulled up the Aragon here, because I thought I should show this so that you've got stage 8 here, generate hash state stage that's coming up. The compute the state root stage 9 coming up there. State 10 there, generate all trace indexes, and then these are very fast, these stages, 11, 12, 13, 14, generate the indexes. There are 4 indexes that are generated during the sync. They might be disabled because they aren't useful as APIs. So these go through the account history index. This index stores the mapping that from the account addresses to list blocks where this account was changed in some way. The storage history index. This index stores the mapping from the storage item address to list blocks where the storage item was changed in some way. The log index. This index sets up a link from the it's got not done yet there, but that's setting up links there. And the TX lookup index as well. This index sets up a link from the transaction hash to the block and number. And then of course the final stage 15 there, transaction pool stage. During this stage we start the transaction pool or update its state. For instance, we remove the transactions from the blocks we have download from the pool, or unwinds, we add the transactions from the blocks, or we unwind back to the pool. The stage doesn't use a network connection. That's pretty much done. Then of course they can prepare with all the rest of the tools that Richard talked about to do the testnet there, and of course that's summarized in this update here for testnet v3. Pulsechain, PulseX, Bridge, Aragon, Geth, Lighthouse, Prism, Block Scout, Terraform, Beacon Explorer, PulseX, and Pulsechain stats report sites, SAC balance checker, and it's going to be awesome, right? So those are all the things that teams we're looking forward to testnet v3. Now remember, the cool thing about this, just summing up, is this going to be the first proof of stake fork. You can see how many clients are required to really execute this in a professional manner, and this is a multi-billion-dollar chain, and it's going to be fun to see it play out. So hats off to Richard. Really nice updates coming through, nice transparency, and getting closer and closer all the time. So got to get excited. All right, that's pretty much it. We're going to get into the stock market update. Before we do that though, let's get into the comments and see what else is in the house. I think we just got over 100 people watching. Down to about 83 people at the moment, so welcome to everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Who sees else has jumped in the chat? We got Xenology in house there. Win Hexco, getting closer, man, getting closer to Xenology. Brian says going mobile for a bit. Cool. What else we got going there? Check my pulse there. I wouldn't mind a stealth launch. Says check my pulse. When I look for, I guess that's probably what it's going to do anyway, check my pulse. When I look for stages, I see there some at 1:15 and one at 10 at different times. I just covered that, so it's all good. Hi, all mine the hex to make it, says Bluffish King. That's true. And Nicholas says Pulsechain website says it's compatible with Ledger. Does that mean Pulse will be an app on the Ledger, or do you send your Pulse to your Ledger ETH address and then connect to the Pulsechain? Well, your private keys are on your Ledger. you got to connect to the blockchain. Your address is on the blockchain. That's where your assets are. So you just have to switch over into Pulsechain. What else? Sandy Beach says Hex Token. My tweet is on under the T-Bird comment. Sorry, I just missed out on that one there, Sandy. Sorry about that. I have closed that page down. Zenoji says, Ivan, when Pulsechain. Yeah, when Pulsechain, Ivan. Yeah, that's funny. The gains will force it back into Hex from the many 150 projects if you want passive income. That's right. I think we're going to get massive income effects from PulseX, Pulsechain, and of course all the other projects, and then that will go in as a wealth effect, and the Hex is kind of where I think they're probably going to head. Plus Hex is cheaper to onboard on Pulsechain, but then I think both chains are going to do really well because both chains are valuable, the ETH chain too. And of course, the APY competition will be interesting, and potentially the bonding yield, bond liquidity as well, holding those prices together. Agreed, Brennan. That's what I'm most excited. Passive income. I know it's going to be awesome. That's another mega theme of Pulsechain will be the profit sharing, and most of the dapps have a profit sharing, so it's really cool, including wallets as well. So it's going to be fun. The only maybe 10 to 20 will actually be good. The rest could be dead projects or scams. That's right. So obviously on each chain you're going to have the high TVL projects, and those are the ones you really want to hunt down. You want to play probability projects. It's okay to have some speculative projects, but you really want to keep that as a small percentage of your portfolio because you're in it to win it, right? So you want to go for the probability plays. Thank you for what you do, Hex Token, says Hex Freedom. Hey, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. Let me jump through some of this. Corey Tate says stage 16 is removed from Aragon. Yeah, it's basically was the finished stage anyway, but yeah, 15 is where the last stage is at. And you want to take that state basically into the testnet v3. What else there? Tom Boss is in the house, says, love all the news. Thanks for your work, suit man. Still hope that this weekend is v3. Fingers crossed. Hey, look, I think as soon as they're ready, as soon as they get that sync done and they prepare everything, it's going to be good to go. So still looking pretty positive for this week, actually. I still think that's definitely on the table there, Tom Boss. Got to get some O-Fire token in my life. That's the Rag to Riches, right? So Rag to Riches project. We're not covering that on today's live stream at least, but we're going to get into stock market. Let's go. I will leave a timestamp, of course, so you can get into all that. But we had a big day on the stock market, and so we're going to be talking about that in the Federal Reserve. Stock market today, Dow slumps as Powell's testimony puts 50 basis points in play for March. Now, as you know on this channel, based on the information that we had up to this point, we knew that some of the numbers, particularly around employment and inflation, had started to reverse a little bit there. Well, at least wages was being stubborn and inflation was slowing down. So this was alarming sort of information. And of course, it looks like the Fed is taking that on board. So they're probably going to be a bit more aggressive than we expected. I had 25 basis points for March, May and June. And looks like we may get 50 basis points potentially for March. So the market's moved to try and price that in. Let's have a look at the indices. We've got the Dow Jones, which all the industrials is down 1.7%. So a pretty big day in percentage terms. 574 points down to 32,856. The S&P, the Standard & Poor's 500, is down 1.5% there, 62 points to 3,986, and it's dropped below that 4,000 mark. Obviously, this Dow Jones dropped below 33. Nasdaq there is down 1.25%. This got all the tech companies in it. It's down 145 points to 11,530 on the index. And of course, with the risk off, that's risk off basically. That we've got a risk. The US dollar has gone up 1.23%. Up to 105.6 versus its trading partners. Really getting high is the Dixie there, and of course the dollar index is strong. That's what happens. Risk off, they go to the reserve currency of the world, the dollar, and up it goes. That also impacts commodities as well. So we're going to get into commodities. We've got Brent oil there is down 3.5%, $3, down $83. That's good news on the core inflation, or at least on the inflation front there. We've got West Texas there is down 0.5%. 36 cents to $77.22. Gold is down just a tad there, $2.35 at $1,817 per ounce. Silver is down a third of 0.3%, 6 cents there, down to $20.14. So really shaved off some of the value on silver. And there's a lot of very bullish pundits out there on silver. that eventually, obviously, that's not going to happen until you get the Fed pivoting. That's further down the track now, and of course, that's where the dollar gets devalued, and of course, silver and gold and things like that go up. So that's the play. Now let's get into the commentary. The Dow slumped Tuesday as hawkish remarks from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell ramped up bets on the Fed, returning to an aggressive rate hike path at its meeting later this month. 21st to 22nd is when it's expected of this month. The odds of a 50 basis point rate hike at the Fed's March 21-22 meeting jumped to nearly 70% from 24% a day earlier after Powell said the ultimate level of interest rates is likely to be higher than previously anticipated. So this is it's hawkish news, not great news. So we already knew it's going to be volatile anyway with my expectations of 25 basis points. That was pretty much on market. And now it looks like we'll probably have slightly even more aggressive. So we're going to talk about that in a second. After the latest economic data have come in stronger than expected. So this is particularly going to impact the stock market and create volatility for the crypto market as well. The Fed chairman also said that if the totality of the data were to indicate the faster tightening is warranted, we would be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes again. So we've still got a little bit of reprieve. We've still got another inflation number coming in, and we're going to talk about that in a second. We hope that that's on the friendly side, on the dovish side. So we get they stick with 25 basis points. That would be cool. Financials were the worst performing sector, however. So this news hit the markets. Financials were the worst performing sector of banks, leading the decline amid a deeper inversion in the treasury yield curve. Usually a headwind for banks that borrowed short-term rates and loan out long-term. So there's inversions talking about the 2-year and the 10-year rates. What else there? We've got technology was also under pressure from surging rates. Apple, Alphabet, and Microsoft were all down more than 1%. Meta platforms, however, fell only 0.2% as investors continued to cheer further signs that social media company is determined to make progress towards profitability amid reports that it plans to cut about 13% of the workforce as soon as this week. That's a lot of Democrats out of a job there. Maybe they'll start to wake up a little bit. Who knows? Energy there, meanwhile, also dragged the market lower as oil prices suffered the biggest sell-off in the 2 months under pressure from a strong dollar. So that's the energy there. And those are the highlights for the stock market. So let's get into the Fed meeting. That is coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks and 18 hours. So like I said, this is sort of setting the seasons for us, and it's been very accurate actually for the most part. I think that, it's been pretty good. We've got 2 weeks to go. We're going to get more volatility leading into this period. Now, particularly now they're talking about 50 basis points, so you can expect more volatility. And the stock market hasn't performed very well in the last 5 weeks. Crypto, however, has done a pretty nice run. We're going to talk about that in a second. But we'll also face volatility during this period. The sunny, well, it's down under anyway. The season that we've had is going to change. So it's just the way it goes. We win some, and just the way it goes. March 22nd there is the next meeting, and of course we've got now 5 to 5.25 basis points. So wow, and that is 70% now. So big 50 basis point rise there. A little bit unfortunate. We've got the May meeting after that. We've got 5.25 to 5.5 as the midpoint, so that's another strong increase expected as well. And then in June, we've got another one there. We've got the majority of people thinking 5.5 to 5.75, so increasing as well. So this is probably where we end up going to because of the personal consumption expenditures, the second inflation indicator. There's two indicators, the PCI, the CPI index, the consumer price index, and then there's the PCE index, the personal consumer index. And the personal consumer index differs that it's got a broader range of goods and services in the basket, and it updates more frequently with its weightings every month. It updates the weightings of those goods as opposed to CPI, which updates biannually. So it's really that's why they prefer using it for the Fed. So we're going to talk about that as well. So definitely looking, and we get up to these rates are getting really 5.5 to 5.75. We hit that rate. That's really hurting. That's getting up there. We already see that the retail rates for residential in the US went over 6.5% on average, the higher or lower depending where you are. But that's likely to smash way up into, instead of 75 basis points, at least 100 basis points or more. and push us, put that rate up into the mid 7.5%, maybe 8% on the retail lending rate. So you can see how it really starts to hurt the economy. All those marginal loans, more and more into the marginal loan thing and fall over. More pain for people, particularly in the housing sector, paying for those. So not great. And of course, that has lagged effects on the real economy. So it just dribbles it further and further into the future. So that is where we're at the moment. 2 weeks to go until that meeting. We can only hope we get a 25 basis points. And of course, we're going to hope that the inflation rate comes down. That the last data that feeds into that meeting will come down. And of course, that is the February data. We have the February data. We got the non-farm payrolls. So now we're back to that employment part of the market. That's been a big issue. So we've seen the goods market, they expected it to rise and come back. So they're happy with that. The housing services sector they expected that to go. Sorry, the good markets have been coming down quite good. They saw the housing service sector, which is the second component of the personal consumer expenditure. They expected that to go up and then come back, so they're happy with that. But the employment services sector, part of the personal consumer expenditure, which makes up 56% of it, was stubbornly high. So they'll be looking at the non-farm payrolls coming up as well. They're forecasted 203,000. Remember last time we got a big surprise, 517,000 in terms of non-farm payrolls. So we'll see how we get with that employment data, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So we're looking for that. Hopefully, if that's come back a little bit there, that'll be good news. That'll be good news. Lowering, maybe make a more dovish Fed rate rather than 50 basis points, 25. At the moment, 50 looks like it's getting priced in at this stage. Then, of course, we've got the big indicators. We've got the CPI coming in here. So this is not the PCE number that the Fed's really targeting towards their 2% target. If you guys remember, 2% target there. This is the CPI. This is this broader measure. And, of course, they're looking at this rate here as well, the month-on-month, year-on-year. So we'll wait to see what that comes in at the moment. Last time it was 6.4% on the CPI. So you can see if they're heading towards 2%, they're not using this particular measure. We're looking at the PCE number, but obviously this needs to go down. We want this to go down, folks, to keep the pain and keep the more bullish environment, an environment that we can actually do better on rather than things going down. This is just a challenge to the market with more expensive cash. Move from cheap cash to more expensive cash. Now there's a limit, I believe, with the Fed. They have, when they raise interest rates, the government debt's going up in value. But here's the kicker. The Fed chairman also said, while the government's only option, the Fed said at the congressional hearing, was you got to raise your debt ceiling. So maybe they don't care that they're going to raise the rates. They're going to target the rates. And this is interesting. This is quite surprising. So they basically said your only option is to increase the debt ceiling. If you're going to, obviously your debt servicing is going up. That was a pretty chilling thing. That sort of takes out the political aspect out of it, which was always a question mark. The Federal Reserve is supposed to be neutral. They have done some policies which are clearly not neutral policies. They're very Democrat-led policies. But it does appear that on the interest rates, they may be ignoring that political association there, and maybe they'll just go for the interest rates and deal with the inflation. That'd be cool. You can take your hats off for that. That's what they're supposed to do, as painful as it is for everybody else, particularly those who've got house mortgages. But that is the time frame there. So we've got these big up. So this is coming on the 14th, the CPI. And of course we also got the PPI as well, producer price index as well at the wholesale production there as well. If that comes in lower too, that would be great too. That's on the 15th there. Also retail sales coming in as well. Obviously we want that to come in lower too. That's less demand. Less demand means less inflationary pressures as well. But of course hopefully that will come pretty nice. So we've got a couple of measures coming up there on the 15th. Remember the meeting is on the 22nd. And it's 2 weeks away, 18 hours. So that is the environment we're moving into, folks, in the next couple of weeks. And cool. Now here is the PCE, the Producers Consumer Index here. This is the nominal rate. And of course, this last time it came in January at 5.4%. What is it going to come in? We want, obviously, it to come in lower. This is what they're heading towards, the 2% rate. Remember, this is... got a broader goods and services in it. It also is quicker to take into technology changes quicker. and of course it has monthly update on its product, its goods and services weightings in there as well. So they prefer this because it moves much more accurately per se than the CPI. This is at 5.4. Obviously, we had that decrease here in December, 5.3, and then it went back up to 5.4. So this is the beginning of our problems, right? Because we said the Fed was getting excited because they said basically we're going to follow the trend with our hawkishness or dovishness, and the trend was our friend all the way through to December, and then January it was not too good. 5.4, we're back up. What will February be? And of course, we're hoping that that stays down. I haven't actually broken down the numbers myself, so I don't know where it's going to come in, but hopefully it's down from 5.4 because we want to hit 5.2. So you could reasonably see why the market's now pricing in by June having 5.5 to 5.75%, right? Getting slightly higher than the CPE here. That's typically what the Fed's done in the past, is go slightly higher, overshoot the mark, and of course to try and press get the real economy, which has delayed impact to maybe 6 to 9 months to actually get that inflation down. It's really a blunt instrument, has lots of perverse outcomes, but they think that that's better than having high inflation environment. And of course, if you look at countries that have had high inflation environments, and there's lots out there today, that they can ruin economies, right? So it's a trade-off from bad to worse, I guess, is the way they look at it. So that is pretty much the update there. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully that was informative. We're going to get into crypto next, though. That is pretty much it. So 5.5 to 5.75, that's going to be higher. I had 5.4, if you remember. So now we're possibly looking at 5.6, 5.7 in there. We'll see how we go on. It's going to be very important. All right, let's catch up on the comments. Man, we've got a big show today, man. We've got so many topics, honestly. Coming up, we've obviously got Hex and Hedron. Then we get into the Pulsechain project updates. These are projects that are building on top of the Pulsechain ecosystem. Then we're going to wrap up and get paid with our Hex Daily Stats update. So look forward to that. All right, where else are we going here? Spike's in the house. Yo, peeps, good to see you, Spike. We've got the Church of Universal Oneness, peace, good health, and prosperity to everybody. Awesome Top Gun hat. Yeah, appreciate that. A lot of people like the Top Gun hat. It's been around for a long time, so it might be original. Who knows? It's been around for a long time. I won't boast it's original, but it's been around a long time. Hello, everybody, says J-Man. Good to see J-Man. Tortoise Johnny in the house as well. We've got Anita as well. Hi, gang. I'm behind on the stream. A few minutes watching. Nice one. Yeah, you can 2x it. Get X, 2x it. Christian says, hello, family. Gotten late. What did I miss? Good thing with YouTube, you can rewind or start at the beginning and speed up, catch up there. When Pulse launched, says Harvey Diaz. Well, testnet could still launch this week. It's still on track to potentially launch this week, testnet v3. So the weekend will be pretty nice, I think, in terms. We're currently still got Tuesday, so we've got a long way to go for the rest of the week. So yeah, definitely good chance this week. What is my percentage on? You want me to put a percentage? I'll put say I'm going to put a pretty high percentage, 90%. How about that? It looks very, very likely. What an oxymoron, raise the ceiling an infinite amount of times, says Nicholas. Yeah. Christian says that's true. You're right. I'm going to have to call my political connections and tell them we need a better market, says Christian. That's funny, man. Hex Fiddy in the house as well. Yo. Good to see Hex Fiddy. Good to see you as well. All right, let's get into it, folks. The stock market news. Sorry, crypto news. We're up to crypto now. 22,230 on BTC, down almost 0.9% at the moment. 41.13% dominance in the market is BTC. ETH is at 1570, looking good. And remember, what we got coming up? We've got the Guerli testnet for the Shanghai upgrade. We've got for ETH, we've also got obviously mainnet upgrade as well, which are potentially, I guess, is going to slip into April. But hey, that's coming up faster, so that's really cool. BNB at $291, up 0.6%. So looking pretty good is the stock market with our leaders there. Pretty happy with that. And ETH at 1570, that's pretty impressive on that one. So cool. We got Solana though. Solana is down 1.44% there. AVAX there is down 1.3% on those. We've got Polygon Matic is also up pretty nicely, 1.8% at $1.15. So our leaders are looking pretty good. What else there? Our stables are all stable. USDC is stable. USD Tether stable. DAI is stable. Even BUSD is at premium, $1.02. What the heck? What the heck? The market does some funny things. But anyway, that's at premium. And of course, the BUSD had been under pressure from the SEC. So yeah, they were under peg for quite a while. USD Tether was reigning supreme, but they've come under peg there. So that's pretty cool. I can see one big outlier there. OKB, they're down 9.5% to $43.95. That is there on coin360.com. So cool. Let's jump into the rankings though. We've got the overall global market cap for crypto is at $1.06 trillion. So that's pretty decent. Down a third of a percent. And we can see our leaders there. Bitcoin, Ethereum at number 2, Binance at number 4, XRP at number 6, up for almost 4%. Obviously, I think we've got the court case coming up. I think it's the 13th. I keep forgetting to confirm, and no one said in the chat yet, but I think it's the 13th. It could be. I've got to double check that again. Just haven't got around to it. Every time I get off the live stream, I forget about checking it. The 8th there, OKB is down 7.36%. That's pretty decent down day for OKB. Polygon is up one spot as well to $1.15. So Polygon doing well there. Dodge also is down one spot, down 1.8%. So Elon Musk's favorite coin. Those market caps are sitting at 10 billion, 10.2, 10.44 for Polygon and Dodge. Hex, of course, is sitting at number 11 still. Another day in a row sitting at number 11, ready to pounce for number 10. Not quite made the move yet, but it is down 6% today, sitting at 6.5 cents. The market cap at 9.22 billion with 14 million in a turnover there. So not too bad, but definitely on the downside there. We're going to talk about that in a second, of course. What do we got there? We got BUSD. Let me jump here. Solana at number 14. Polkadot number 15, Shiba Inu number 16, Litecoin number 17, Tron at number 18, Avalanche number 19. Those are your top 20 today, folks. Let's have a look at the top movers, though. We've got Conflux token in the top 100. It moved 8.6%. XRP was number 2. Then Curve DAO and Immutable X. So Polygon and Uniswap, Maker and Unis there following in behind Binance Coin and Time. Those are the top 10 movers on the top 100. So that's pretty cool. We're going to jump into Bitcoin. Have a closer look at that. You can see the Bitcoin here. We had this big rally. We came back down to 21,500. Tackled 25,000 just for a little while there. Come back down. We've still got a slightly higher low, but we are looking at the blue line. That's the 200 moving average, that blue line. We had our golden cross, if you remember, where the 50-day EMA had crossed the 200-day moving average. And of course, we do have a support line here at the 200. It's obviously breaking through the 50 and a 200 there on the old Bitcoin. On the RSI, we are down at about 42, so below the bullish level. So we have to get a nice bullish cross here on the yellow. So with this purple aligned across the yellow line, and hopefully get a bit of a bullish move there. So still got a slightly higher low there. Looking 10 minutes though, and of course we're facing the federal interest rates. They will have some impact on the crypto volatility. Not the same as stock markets, of course. It's more about the real economy, wealth effects, income effects. So employment data might be, arguably it would be, but maybe not happen. But this is the way it goes. So that is BTC holding at the moment with slightly higher low. Not much else to say about that at this stage. We're going to jump into Hex. Hex at the moment is this is on the 15-minute chart, and of course you can see that we were up here at 7 cents. We got rejected here, sold down to 6.5. We did have a big seller, if you recall, and we got up to 6.7. That big seller had 127 million Hex, sold down to about 90 million, but that was over the last 2 weeks. It seems like maybe it might DCA out of Hex over every week a little bit more. But then again, maybe it won't, depending on Pulsechain news. Who knows? We'll see how we go. We got up to 6.7, and then we got all the way down to 6.176 here, and then back up again. So that is on the 15-minute. Let's go to the hourly. There's the hourly chart here, and you can see we just basically came down. We are getting lower highs and lower lows in here, but of course we're still waiting for Pulsechain. So let's go loot through the whale bot here and see what's been happening. I don't know if we've got much here at the moment. 17 hours ago. Let's jump through here. Yeah, we had 40 million Hex smurfed for 2,265 days. So smurfing is all the latest language for Hex at the moment. 3,418 T-shares. Then we had 10 million Hex smurfed as well for 5,525 days. Now, this is fantastic. So you guys know I focus on circulating supply of Hex. 50 million Hex is a big number, folks. That's a big number off the circulating supply. That is non-trivial. You know, I often talk about, we also had this 126 million Hex here smurfed for 295 days. So this is non-trivial numbers. Like the last number that I was pretty confident in was that we were sitting in the public hands. So this excludes the origin accounts, sacrifice accounts. We're sitting in the public hands around 15 billion, give or take. And these are big numbers compared to that 15 billion. You know, maybe it's way lower than that now because of all the organic staking that we've had. And now we've got obviously 2 new products coming into the pooled staking. It's going to build on top of this, and we've still got potentially the Heart wallet coming out as well that could have a big sacrifice. So you can see the circulating supply of Hex, the liquid Hex amongst people could really start reducing, and of course the staking going up. So this is a significant number against that backdrop. So I thought I'd just highlight that. 2.26 million Hex sold 19 hours ago. So if we go back to our chart here, we can see the hourly chart, and I go back 19 hours. We're about that. So this is 19 hours. So this is this red candle here. So that's when we got that sell, that big large sell there. 2.6. What else we got going on here? 2.3 million sold 17 hours ago. So 19. What do I have that there? 19. So we had more selling in here coming in. What else? 2.4 million sold 9 hours ago. So we take 9 hours. We can see this sort of play out in here. That's 9 hours. So in this chart here, we had that sell, big sell. So quite a bit of sell pressure in the last 24 hours. 2.4 million sold for 149,000 5 hours ago. So that was 5 hours ago. That's in this candle here, and these big red candles here, or these 2 here. So that's where the big sell that finally took us down. So we must have slowed down after that because we've had a recovery, and indeed we have. That is the end. So we had a lot of sells over the last 24 hours, and that showed up in this chart here that you can see. So that is the whale box. Cool. Now, one of the things we've got is the global staking ladder. So not only we had more Hex stake there, it's pretty cool, but we also had this the staking ladder here. Remember, we had about a week of very large stakers all backed up against each other. 300, 400, 450 million each candles. We've got through all those now. Today's the last day, so we may have a bit of volatility today from those. We'll see. Most of them should probably just restake or hold liquid. It's not necessary that they will sell. There might be some old OG stakes in there too. But we've got through all those candles now. We've still got some reasonable sized candles in front of us, but nothing like those 300-400 million Hex. We know the biggest one here that we've got left is 310. We've got another one there, 260. But much smaller now. And you got to remember, all these are paying much higher share rates now, well over 1,000 Hex per T-share is my estimate there. And of course, then some of them will restake short. So we've got some of these candles that are restake short here. You can see us in front. But man, this is looking a lot different all the time. This global staking ladder. Now, obviously, still a lot up the front end. That's going to be the case for a long time. But definitely share rates having a big deal there. Matt and Barley just gifted the Hex Token channel membership. Nice pick up there, Charity. You picked that up pretty quickly on the old free membership. So big shout out to Matt and Barley. It's the second one Matt and Barley's given out. Congratulations to Charity there as well. Let me pull that up actually. That is the shout out there, free membership, nice one. And congrats to Charity there for picking that up. So it's looking good there. That is the global stakes. It's not looking beautiful. It's really looking good, man. Regardless of Pulsechain, the Hex staking ladder is looking really good. The fundamentals of Hex are looking really good. But of course, we have the Pulsechain narrative on top of Hex. It is the proxy for the Hex coin because there's no Hex coin at the moment. Pulsechain coin. There's no Pulsechain coin at the moment, so Hex is a proxy for that. All right, you also get a copy of your Hex on Pulsechain. So it's a 2-for-1 deal. So there's so many value narratives in Hex right now. Its own special features, its own unique features, its own intrinsic value. But then, of course, a copy on the Pulsechain as well. 2-for-1 deal. And, of course, a proxy for Pulsechain news as well. So it's pretty glorious at the moment. All right, Hedron at the moment is sitting at 2. But before we get to Hedron, let's go into the 4-hourly chart for Hex. as well. Oh, Matt and Barley just gifted another membership, man. Matt, you're so kind. Big shout out to Matt. There's another membership up for grabs. And who picked it up? Pulsechain Hex Crypto. Well done to you, man. Picking that up there. Very, very cool. Nice work. All right. Nice one. Welcome to the channel too. Now, if you want to become a member, of course, hit the join button. We've got Pulsechains, Hexskins, and the Richard Hart Club. You get cool emoji perks in the chat, and also a few little perks on our Discord, which is free as well. All right. Links in the video description. So we've got 6.5 cents. This is on the 4-hourly candle. Let's have a look at the RSI. The RSI is obviously down towards the bottom end. We're sitting at 41. And it's just cooled off a bit, obviously, in this chart. We can see that we've still got an uptrend, but it has definitely flattened out at the moment. We're going to look at that on the daily. So let's jump to the daily. The daily here. Let's pull it up there. So daily here, we've got a higher low. We've got a lower high here sitting in here after this, because obviously we had higher highs here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's keep going. We've got a higher low here. And we've got slightly lower low here as well. So a little bit of pullback here. Will it roll over though? Unlikely, given Pulsechain Testnet V3 coming up is what I'd say about that. We did have a very powerful move though, 4.5x increase in 2 months, but definitely would want to get some support here. We also had a couple large holders unstake and sell, a few obviously large traders in here as well. So we'll have to see where we go. 6.5 at the moment. We do have price support at 6.2. That is our price support. We did bounce that off that on the 20 EMA. That's the blue line there. It's a 20 EMA. We did bounce off that, and let's see, hopefully that will hold us up there as well. What else have we got to say about that? Our support there, next support line is really around 5.6 cents. If we do break down 5.6, that is our next support level. Other than that is, hey, look, Pulsechain Testnet V3 still looking good for this week potentially. Maybe later towards the weekend, which would be a perfect time to launch it when there's cheap gas fees. So that's pretty much that. Let's look at the summary. We've got 360 trades in the last 24 hours, 59% of the trades. And the sell volume, though, was 55% at 2.6 million, over 2.2 million on the top trading pair, which has 7.8 million liquidity in it. That is the Hex chart. Let's jump over to Hex is at 6.5 cents, and we've got Hedron is at 2,162. Obviously, we're in that second wave, had a huge amount of T-shares for the Hex HSI auctions. People have been buying it, obviously, for that. We had a big move yesterday. We got up to 2,393 on the price. Look at that. But it wicked down, and we've just opened up at that price at 2,162, but still looking pretty good. There's the old price there. So cool. What else? We're going to jump over to pick up the summary. We've got 52 trades that are buys. That's 53% of the buy trades, and we've got 50-50 on the buy volume, which is actually slightly ahead of the sell, which is 384,000 versus 375 there. So I'm not sure what's saying 50-50 there. They do have sometimes a little UI issues there, but that is looking good for old Hedron. Let's jump over to the auctions, and we're going to go to auctions here for Hex HSI auctions. We've had some really big ones around. We've got 3,745 in the queue. Several thousands of T-shares in there. We covered the actual amount yesterday. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. We've got the number of auctions that are available at the moment that you can bid on. We've got some really decent ones here. 300,000 Hex, a couple of those. So 38 T-shares each. 13 T-shares here, and some smaller ones as well. We've got 10 T-shares, 1 T-share. So there's something for everybody to bid on. Now we did have this one closed. It's a little B-share one. These ones here are going to close soon. They're 45 T-shares, 42. So they're currently going for 4.6 million on this one, and 239 a million on this one. That's crazy. So obviously this one here is going to change. Someone's going to bid up higher than that. Look at the two differences. That's ridiculous. Still got an hour and a half to go though. So if you're going to check on those, you might as well check those on those closer to the closing time, and see if there's competitive bids on both of these and what they end up being valued at. Pretty cool. Dev Huey on the Watts said 8 Watts of NFTs burned in the last 24 hours, 16,657 endpoints. So that's a pretty good day of burning. And you can see that yesterday was really great, over 40,000. Today's pretty good too. It looks around about $17,000 worth. Very, very cool. We've got 21,518 Watts of NFTs left. slowly and surely, but very slowly on the burn there. But we had a couple good days in the house. Now, some of the other decent things also, Dev Huey said 27,488 T-shares are currently in the Okoza auction contract. 7,387 of the T-shares can be auctioned right now. Those are those huge numbers that I talked about still to go. 1,180 of the T-shares have a Hedron launch bonus in them of that as well. So that's kind of cool details to see. What else? I think that was it. Did have a few charts in here, so you can go check that on his website, of course. With all those in there, there's the T-shares, and get all the details, juicy details there. Now, his website is called hexmodel.com. Hexmodel.com if you want to go and check out those details in depth. Now, we're going to get up to the Pulsechain project updates. As I said, we've got so much on today's live stream. It really is a busy day, but let's get into it. Power City giving us some power updates, and of course, not long ago we had Jesse and KDP on the live stream, which was very great privilege, and you can go back and watch that video. It was very cool. Power City, of course, three big updates from them. These are obviously top tier utility on the project. Hey, Wookie, man, awesome. So Wookie's just jumped in there. Wookie, 4 members, 4 months as a member. I appreciate that, Wookie, and of course he's one of our moderators as well. So big shout out to Wookie. And let's go for Sunday V3. Yeah, let's go for that. I like that. That sounds good to me. All right, so Power City here. Power City, soon you'll be able to purchase a boxable tiny home with PLS. So this is where you've got the physical world and NFTs sort of linking in together. So a real use case there. Blockchain first, exclusive to Pulsechain, NFT redeemable for a real world asset. US PLS to purchase, so you need Pulse coins to purchase there. VIP queue and the boxable home manufacturing queue in terms of redeeming them. These are some of the boxable homes there. Now, I remember for a little while, was it Elon Musk was living in a boxable home of some sort or something similar for a little while. So there we are. It's going to be interesting to see that play out. Boxable homes are pretty popular. Now, the other update, we had Portal X. This is huge for Pulsechain. We have the official bridge, of course, that Richard's doing. Pulse Ramp, Pulse Bridge, whatever you want to call it. Power City there, Portal X update. And of course, our devs are currently working on the UI user interface. Multichain is ready to integrate with V3 is live. I mean, Multichain is their technology partner with the Multichain over 20 chains, which is incredible. So Pulse X testnet soon, waiting for V3. So they're going to dive straight onto the proof of stake testnet, connecting Pulsechain to 20 plus chains. Awesome, eh? So we've got the official bridge from Richard Hart connecting to Ethereum. But we're going to have this cross-chain bridge, which will actually be even easier, no doubt. Well, pretty similar, pretty easy. Well, actually easier if you think about it, because it's going to be over 20 chains, thousands of different tokens, and it's going to make it so simple. You just go, I want to change this to this, and it's going to seek out the best path, best liquidity for you, and probably wouldn't trade if there's an issue, I guess, is the case there. So that's pretty cool. And of course, we haven't forgotten we owe you all a Twitter space, so that's kind of cool. You got all these different chains. Look at them all. Woohoo! Polygon, Optimism, you name it, it's all there. EVMs, it's going to be cool. All over Portal, over to Pulsechain. Big deal. This is big. This is one of the juggernaut utilities coming to Pulsechain. It's going to help Pulsechain flourish. It is seamless. It's user-friendly. It's going to be a big deal. Looking forward to that. So big shout out to them. I haven't even liked it. Must share that around. So that's pretty cool. I'll share those ones too. So that's pretty neat on there. What else we got here? This is on Power City. We got another update as well. 3 updates in a day. These guys have been busy. Earn protocol. So this is the fork of Liquidity. Just like Liquid Loans is fork Liquidity, and they're using Pulse Coin as their collateral for their stable coins and the protocol. Power City decided to fork Liquidity too, but they're going to, and it's called the Earn protocol. But they're going to use Pulse X. So the Super Dex there, they're going to use the Pulse X token as their collateral. Our V1 testnet is nearing completion. The devs are currently working on a basic user interface to be able to deliver a public testnet. V2 custom front end is currently in design to be implemented after V1 release coming soon. So that is the Earn protocol. Obviously, that has been valued up big time on Ethereum, the Liquidity protocol, and of course, because of the way Terra Luna and CeFi, CeFi stuff got wrecked in the space. So Liquidity being one of the 2 dominant protocols. The other one, of course, is fiat-backed ones. particularly those without a custodial, like Coast is doing, and where they just have a bank intermediary. And so very bullish. We're going to have the two best models out of the four main models coming to Pulsechain, and the two that actually seem to work properly. So that's pretty cool. And so very excited here. Great news coming from Power City. Pulsechain ecosystem. Now we saw that Ivan on Tech asked about these. What projects are coming? Well, you can see that we're probably going to have most of the top TVL projects from Ethereum, and those are your probable plays. Those are your probable plays. You're after the big X returns with the least risk. Those are your probable plays. There are going to be speculative plays out there. Like I say, it's definitely best generally in a portfolio just keep that down to a small percentage of your portfolio if you want to make a few of those plays. And we do talk about some of those projects from time to time on this channel. So that's Power City. Now, the other thing that's come to the attention, of course, is Pulse domains, and it is having a Pulse name service, just like Ethereum there. And, of course, people can put in their name and put in .pls. Now, this is on testnet at the moment, so if you want to go play around with this, you can. This is on testnet. You can pull up go to the app and play with that. I'll post that in the chat there in case you want to play around with it. Obviously, make sure you do due diligence. Is on the testnet there, so that is the link for that one. And so cool. Decentralized naming for wallets, websites, and more. So you can put your name and have PLS on there. So it's going to be probably very popular, just like we see on the DNS on Ethereum. So very cool. Go to app, and of course you can play on testnet with that. So you can connect your wallet up on the testnet and play away there. So that's very, very cool. Once again, do your investment due diligence and all that good stuff, but that is up and around there, so nice. Some people like that. All right, I think that's it. So we're up to on the hour, an hour and 16. What? That's why I said we got so much updates today. It's been absolutely awesome alpha day today. This is so good. We're going to get the Hex daily stats. We'd like to get paid at the end of the live stream. We've got day 1191 hot off the press, folks. Let's get straight into it. We've got the 7th of March 2023. We're at 6.487 cents on the snapshot, down 6.8% after 2 increased days. We're currently sitting 6.5 cents live on the market. The payout per T-share, 6.339. We get paid every day if you're staking, or if you're mining T-shares, I should say. What do you got? Now, if you've got T-shares, you're mining Hex. Let's put it that way. You got 6.339 is the old mining amount there. Pretty amazing. We've got the T-share price there is at $1,724. T-share rate there, 26,574, up 4. Now remember that with the T-share, the first 3 years, we're on the slow slope of the share rate. We're expecting that to start to accelerate and get steeper and steeper, and we're just starting to curve up now. You can see it, and by the end of the year, we're expecting projection on HexFire of around 32,000 on the share rate. So earlier pays better. This is the earlier pays better mechanism. It is a unique mechanism to X, this particular formula as well. Obviously, it was the pioneer in the space of share rates, and it's at 26,574. It's only going up and to the right. So the only way of getting this much cheaper, up to a third cheaper, is longer pays better. You get 20% more shares for your Hex every year. Up to 10 years, so it's 200%. So it's the only way to get that rate cheaper. This is the near-term X there. All right, the average mining length is 6.45 years. And like I say, with the Hex Godwell coming out on the 23rd of March there, I think it was, this will likely jump back up to 6.7, 6.8 as well. So it's a very long period of time. Annual percentage rate, rewards and emergency insight penalties, 35.86%. Amazing return. And of course, this is paid out in Hex terms. The US dollar price can move around as we see. Liquidity in the pool. Wow, we jumped up 71.7 million Hex, all the way back up to almost 105 million Hex there. So that's the result of all those sales. We saw that on the Whalebot, all those big sales, and the market going down to 6.5, got down to 6.2 or so. So yeah, that is a response to that. The amount of US dollars in the pool went from 6.6 million down to 5.3, and ETH went from 2,600 down to 2,000, almost 2,100, not quite. So that is reflective there. Now, obviously, LP positions move around as well, so they can also reflect in those liquidity changes. Hex is easy to understand. We have a reward pool and a ownership pool. So if the reward pool or the ownership pool go up or down, then Hex payout per T-share goes up or down, but generally it's just going to go up and to the right. And of course, we see a massive jump in T-shares today, 11,130 after many days of decreases. And of course, we're up to 10,226,815. When Hex Goldwell comes out on around about 23rd of March, That's about 146,000 T-shares that's coming out, and we'll see what it does. Will it stake for the third time? We will see. It's going to be interesting because that's really putting pressure on the other short-term stakers, I think, as well, just on a subtle basis there. So cool, that is fun. Let's go to the percentage of coins. 10.19% of all Hex is staked at the moment. We got 667,000 in penalties. Very nice. 50% goes to us stakers and miners, I should say, and 50% to OA. So it's really tough changing language, but hey, we're doing it. We're doing it. Current holders up 50. The 322,826 is on Etherscan. So if you go to the Hex contract on Etherscan, we'll give you a number similar to this. Our stakers down 2. Whoa, we don't hardly we ever see a negative day. It's got down 2 there. 119,392. And our holders up 240 to 537,228. That's day 1191, folks. And of course, here we are on day 1192, and our base payout is around about 6.299. Now, if the Hex Godwild comes out, then this will jump in back up over 6.3. We'll see what happens there at the time. So very, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Yes, what's it? December, January, February, March. So yeah, we're in our 4th month of the 4th year. Is the old Hex there. 4th month of the 4th year. Pretty cool. Let's get back to the Hex chart there, and we're going to wrap up the show. How are we doing for time? An hour and 21. We're doing pretty well there. Let's get some of the comments in house though. Probably quite a far behind. Let's see how far behind. All right, definitely got up to Hex Fetty. So we're going to jump past that. Christian Collins says, I feel it in my bones. Once V3 comes out, Hex will reach Saturn. I think you might be right there. And Brennan says the 2020 BTC chart seems to be playing out that I posted in the price chat. Nice one, Brennan. I'll go back and check that again. Maybe one more capitulation for the bull cycle. You're definitely between March and June. That's going to be a volatile road, that's for sure. Then we got chance for takeoff, particularly in crypto. Not so much for stock market, but for crypto. The reason why stock market is because it gets affected by the interest rates. The real economy goes down, and earnings get tougher. Earnings seasons get tougher, and there's an inverse relationship for valuations as well. So it really does get put under the hammer there. What else? Christian says, "Wow, I missed the 6.1 cents." Yeah, you did. That's where it got down to yesterday. Got down to 6.176 was the low on the price. That's all those large accounts selling us down there. MCR sacrifice will be March the 17th. So that's for the MCR. Remember, we've got 2 projects coming on top of building on top of Hex. One is the Maximus party pools, and MCR are doing their project as well. I just skipped the name skips me of what they're doing, what they've called it, but Sandy Beach will remind us, I'm sure. Quick stop. Don't like the red candles, so it's beach time any minute. But before I go, says Matt. Matt decided to drop us some free memberships, which was pretty nice. Property Viewers in house there. Great show today. Hey, thanks, Property View. Hey, really big shout out to Property View. If you haven't checked out Property View's channel, he's a great Hexkin, and he's an international real estate agent. Does reviews mega mansions around the world. His channel is really amazing. If you like that sort of stuff, check it out. He's growing pretty fast in there from the looks of it. So shout out to you, Property Review. What else? We got, jump through here. J-Man says, Hex is looking good. I like that. Matt and Barley says, have an awesome day. You too, Matt, if you're still around. What else? Jump through some of that. Let's go through those. Double Blessing says, the coin spot Australia asking for request of token. Are they looking Hex? Yes. We covered that the other day. They're looking, they've paid attention. I can't remember whether it was one of the YouTubers, one of the Twitter influencers got the attention to that. Alex is in the house there. Hi yo, next leg down on the Hex price. Who's ready to slurp up those delicious shackles? Yeah, like I say, 5.6 I think I said was the potential price there. Yeah, 5.6 on horizontal, but on our moving averages, we have bounced from the 6.2, so that's been not too bad. So we'll see how we get on. Definitely got a higher low in here, so we're gonna have to have a bit of work to get us above that. Moving sideways is always an option too. Although I think by Sunday we haven't got too many days. We could definitely get a move on there, and we have got the window of opportunity from the Fed. Still 2 weeks to go. What else? Anita says hit the like button. Definitely smash the like. Sandy Beach says Steakhouse and Bistro, the Magic Upride products, building on top of the Hex contract. Yeah, just like Maximus is doing Party Pool. So that's awesome. And they're going to eat up more circulating supply. And it's always a win-win. All right, people get longer pays better, bigger pays better, cheaper gas fees. So it's all good all around. All right, and other airdrops as well, from the looks of it. All right, that's it. An hour and 25. Had an awesome show. Thank you to Richard Hart for alpha drops on Twitter. Let's do one more check just to make sure he hasn't done anything secretly since we were on there last. It's the problem with when he does so many updates that you got to keep up with it. This is the last comment here. This is 3 hours ago. I didn't read this one out, but the public is, in general, rather unfair. They tell you to your face, Hex will fail. It does the opposite, and they never atone for their lies. They insult my clothing, my language, my tone, yet when I change it, they're silent or use new insults. Some portion of people are evil. That's pretty funny. All right, so what else there? We got kids are being turned into degenerate gamblers. That's true. That's part of the future there. Did I ever tell you I love Hex, says Richard Bitcoin? Did I ever tell you I love Hex? I love Hex there. Hex.com there on his profile. That's pretty funny. That's pretty for graffiti. We've got to retweet that too. All right, so what else there? 1 hour ago he says, how do lies attack you? Framing error. Heads I win, tails you lose. You say you like cats. They say you like cats. They say why do you hate dogs? Every piece of data they get from you, they will twist and manipulate to attack you. This is why you give haters no data to lie. So that's a couple of updates from Richard there. Hex price at the moment, 6.511 cents. Let's see how we go leading into the week. Let's hope Pulsechain testnet V3 is out by the weekend. Looking good to me. I'm feeling good about it. Thanks, Superman. Have a great day, says Ringo. You too. Take care, everybody. Hope you guys have a fantastic and blessed day. Until tomorrow, I will catch you then. Bye for now. Peace out. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. See you in Discord. It's free, and we've got the best community. Jump in there as well. All right, bye for now.